Hello my friend and welcome to Success with JS. My name is Jean-Serge, and today I want to talk to you about use nadjectives. That's a funny term. I don't know if it's in the dictionary or not, but this is something that John Gray was talking about. He was talking about using a negative adjective to describe yourself when you have arguments with your spouse, and it's especially or really more specific to men. Because if you listen to John Gray's audiobooks or read his book, Men Are From Mars and Women From Venus, he talks about how men need to apologize to women for making mistakes, and women don't actually need to do that because men, we don't need that apology from her. We need her forgiveness for us making a mistake. But whenever she makes mistakes, we are supposed to not make it a big deal or anything, but which we do, because really, what are we doing in our lives? We're not there to try to make her life miserable or anything like that. We're not looking for ways to make her miserable. We just say things sometimes because we don't speak Venusian, as John Gray would say. So because we speak Martian and we have different emotions and we have different ways of looking at things and everything like that, we end up saying things that potentially hurt our spouse. And so to correct that, we need to first we need to realize that we're different. Men and women are not the same. And of course, again, as I say in other videos, these are generalities, so it's not always the same for everybody. But generally, men need to apologize and use an adjective. So for example, if you say something and I don't know, you're late to come home and you didn't bother calling her to tell her that you would be late, and then you come home and she's upset because she was waiting for you, and she could have eaten before you got there. If she had known that you were going to be late, she would have fed the kids, and now they're all cranky because now they're waiting, and all that kind of stuff, right? Whatever's going on. The thing is, you have to remember is don't give an excuse. Well, don't give an explanation or a reason for, if you use that, she'll hear it as an excuse because you're basically saying she doesn't have to be upset because you have a great reason, right? That's what she's going to hear. So what you got to do is you got to say, oh, sorry, that was my mistake. You're right. I should have called you. And then you use an adjective. An adjective is a negative adjective describing yourself. You say something like, I was insensitive. I was inconsiderate. I was, not thinking of you and all that stuff, right? So, and that basically lets her know that you didn't think of her situation before you didn't bother calling her, for example, in this particular example, right? And the thing is that if you really think about it, you didn't mean to make her time miserable because of all the stuff that happened because you never called her, right? You didn't think of that. And this is a thing that as you practice these kinds of skills, you're going to learn and you're going to get better at it. And the thing you have to remember is that just realize you're not there to make her miserable or anything like that. She, of course, eventually over time, she's going to remember that you didn't do it on purpose, whatever, and it's going to be less stressful, whatever. And it's perfectly normal to have these kinds of conflicts, these kinds of frictions, and that stuff. And if you're not having this kind of friction, then that's when you need to be worrying, because that means you're not communicating anymore, right? And that's where the danger appears. So if your spouse isn't communicating, isn't getting upset at you and things like that, and nothing's ever wrong, then maybe it's a sign of some other trouble brewing, right? So you got to be careful with that. So if you have these kinds of arguments and you use these kinds of skills, things are gonna go a lot smoother for you. And you just have to basically say, I'm sorry, honey, I didn't realize I was insensitive. I should have thought about it. It's my mistake. And then, if you listen to John Gray stuff, you're going to hear he talks about how your wife is still going to go on about what happened because she wants to get it out. She wants you to know how she felt and how her emotions were impacted by this and everything else. So don't get upset. It's not because you tell her this that she's going to instantly stop. She needs to get it out. It's just a woman thing, and she needs to get it out. So let her get it out, and then apologize again. I'm sorry, you're right. My mistake. I didn't think. And I'll try not to do it next time. And then, of course, after a few moments of discussion there, that gets all cleared up, and then what she needs to do for this to work over time is she needs to then say, okay, I forgive you. Because as men, we need to be forgiven for our mistakes, because we don't feel that we did this on purpose. So of course we'll take responsibility for it. We did it. It's our it's our fault. It's our process that got us in that mess and everything else. So we take responsibility. That's the important part that you got to do, men. But women, you got to forgive your man, because if you don't forgive him, it's not going to work as well, and eventually it can cause other kinds of issues and whatever. I know it seems silly to do these things, but if you practice them, you're going to see they're going to really help. So if you got some value from this, make sure you share this with your friends, and you'll see links around the video there. Successwithjs.com, successwithjs.com, and go there and register for your free tips to your inbox. All right, have a great day.